Welcome to the official FIU Honors College podcast, Panthers Unleashed. I am your host, Maciel Gonzalez. Join us as we dive into the stories, passions, and discoveries of our boldest students, faculty, and alumni. Let's dive into today's episode. Hi guys, welcome back to Panthers Unleashed. I'm here today with Valeria Perez. Hello. And today we're exploring a topic that's at the very heart of the honors experience, which is engagement. When students feel connected, supported, and inspired, things happen. And that's exactly where today's guest comes in. So, Valeria is the program manager for engagement and community here at the Honors College. Valeria works tirelessly to create meaningful programs and experiences that foster belonging, strengthen community, and spotlight everything that makes the Honors College special. With a background in cultural awareness, student engagement, and a master's in social and emerging media from the University of Tampa, Valeria brings both passion and expertise to everything she does. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, hello. Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy you're here. I'm so excited to talk about engagement because I feel like it's such an important part in the Honors College, experience. I feel like we all have to do engagement hours, but everyone kind of is oh, we have to do engagement, but they don't know the importance or why engagement is a thing. Why is it a requirement? So I'm excited to touch on that today and give our viewers more of info on that. So to start us off, can you share a bit about your role as program manager for the Honors College?
Yeah, of course. So to give some insight, previously this role was just a general engagement academic program manager for those who've been in touch with the Honors College. More administrative side, that was Sophie. The dean heard a lot of voices from the students of wanting to be more involved within the Honors College. So we have adjusted that position to be more engagement in community to create not only on-campus events, but virtual events on top of what we're already asking students to do so that they don't have to go out to go find it. We are offering it for them within the Honors College.
That's good because I know a lot of honors students are very busy. So this you giving all these opportunities to them, it makes it easier for you guys to get out there, get involved. But I know that you're very busy. So what does a typical day look like for you?
I think that always depends. So usually on my Monday and Fridays, I just focus on general administrative tasks. I try not to do any meetings, nothing besides focusing on answering emails, going through the forms, making sure everything is updated on more of the administrative side. But my Tuesdays to Thursdays is usually my most hectic. And I'm very thankful. I have a lot of student interns and volunteers and students who are passionate that are able to curate events that we either doing virtual or in person for students. So it's just preparing for that either through our aspects of how do we outreach to students, how do we make sure our collaborations are reaching the students in different areas they can be in.
Wow. No, if you guys have not seen her at one of the Honors College events, she's all over the place. She's making sure everything is perfect for you guys, doing this, doing that. She's got so many hands. I don't know how she does it. But continuing, I know that you originally got your start in student engagement at the University of Tampa. How did you get in this niche area of higher ed?
So that's actually very interesting. So when I was a transfer student, I started off at community college in Hillsborough County in the city of Tampa. I transferred to the University of Tampa after 2 years, and I saw this study based upon that students who have mentors have a higher chance of succeeding and getting opportunities. So I was very blessed that I had a mentor that ironically kind of found me. At that time at our institution, there were not a lot of students who were of kind of the same background. So she would go out of her way to find us to make sure we would find community. And that's how she found me. And she kind of, ironically, I thought I was just doing a student org for free. And then she was surprised this is a paid position. And then I got involved in higher ed through that way. And I found out that I really enjoyed it. I love working not only in the administrative aspect, but working with creating community for students and getting more involved.
I think that's very beautiful. And I like the thing that you touched upon, which is mentors. If you guys watched the episode with Dean Espinosa, which it was the first episode of this semester, we touched on that episode as well of the importance of having a mentor, and mentors are super important. But I feel a big thing of the Honors College is building community, and I really like that you're building that for our students here. Now, you're deeply involved in creating spaces that foster a sense of belonging, community, just like we were talking about. Why is that sense of community so important for honor students here?
I think it's important for honor students, but in general, for students in general, is that it encourages you to stay involved, to get connected, and my personal experience and something I've heard from many, when it comes to outside of your 4 years after you get your degree, the way you get your jobs, your opportunities, is mostly comes from the community you've established within your institution. So getting those experience, getting those opportunities, it's what helps you stand out. Especially for honors college students, we know they're very like goal driven. They have an envisionment, but for them to really get to their envisionment, they need to have everything for the resume, the volunteer hours, all those things. For example, for pre-med, pre-law, or any other type of program, or even if they're just graduating with their bachelor's that they're having those opportunities and networking opportunities accessible for them is what makes them stand out, and also what makes them really enjoy their experience here at the Honors College, but also at FIU. And that's like what is more pivotal in having their experiences. Personally, for me, the reason why I was able to make it to a lot of things and have the opportunities I had to, for example, I got to go to Washington, D.C. as a student.
Oh, wow.
I got to present in a lot of, it was really fun.
That's super cool. Okay.
But it came from my mentor creating those opportunities for me and going out of my way to connect with students, that I was able to do a lot of stuff that without that I wouldn't have been able to.
I think that's really great. And we've said it before in the podcast, like networking, talking to people, like getting in touch with people is like super important, because you can do as many extracurriculars and like do great at your academics, but people like get you places. Like who you know is very important. So I feel like that's something that's really important with what we're doing here in the Honors College in terms of engagement. Now, how does student engagement tie into academic success and personal development within the Honors College?
For academic success, having those connectors and also those opportunities gets you to have those essential experiential learning experience, those more hands-on experience of things that you're studying. I guess the best example, I'll just use Washington D.C. because we just talked about it. I was a liberal science major, specifically focused on political science and psychology. When we went to Washington, D.C., most of our work was focused on connecting with nonprofits and actually getting involved through those ways. Having those hands-on experience gave me more of an opening understanding of certain things that I would have not been able to just from reading a textbook. So that's how it broadens your academic experience, but also your interdisciplinary experience. And also those opportunities not only, and I know Dean Espinosa always says this, but it's not just your accessibility of networking with people higher up, but also networking with people in your same field or even your own fellow peers. Like one of my close friends is in progress of working with NASA. I have another friend who's working in a lot of...
What? Oh my gosh.
And it just came from connecting with people. My best example is like, if anyone's seen the movie Sinners, the director of Sinners and the musician were roommates in college. So sometimes it's not always about who you go to see up top and who's already in those positions, but who is going to be in those positions in those future. And that's also like personal development. You get those experience and you connect and stuff like that.
That's super cool. Oh my gosh. Yes. And I love like that example that you gave, like that. I didn't know that. So that's cool. Now, I always try to get you guys the inside scoop on things whenever I can. I hear that engagement graduation requirements for honor students are changing next year, but in a good way. Can you give us the inside scoop on what those changes are?
So we've been hearing, especially for those who don't know, I'm kind of newer into this role, so we've been getting feedback from students on their opinion of engagement and service. We're hearing it from everywhere. We've been reaching out to faculty and fellow staff, and we're realizing that there is needs of this change. And the change is to make it more accessible and easier for students, and also not making a burdensome, because we know students, not all of them are in person, not all of them are working. I can't go further into detail what the changes are, but it is to make things much more accessible and easier, especially when you're in the process of graduating and also going through your yearly just academic year, is to make it easier for students to not feel on top of that burden where they're just like burnt out and kind of just like, why is honors program doing this for me? It's now more like, how is this developing me further?
Ooh, okay. So you guys have to stay on top of all the honors, like social and the websites, stay on top of that. But the changes are good. The changes are going to help you. So we love to hear it. Now, what advice would you give to incoming or current honor students who want to get more involved, but just aren't sure of like how to do that or where to start?
I always say cold emailing or cold, like just going into people's office. I'm one of those. My I actually had a student recently who reached out. I used to be a psychology major. Well, I am part of a psychology major because I have a liberal science, which is a mixture of those three. But my close friend was also a psychology major, and she was able to, before she graduated, she was able to publicize research on the Psychology Journal because of her cold emailing professors when she was a freshman. And I'm not saying cold emailing being like, what do you have for me? Being like, have a conversation.
Yeah.
You get really far. Some of the best examples is some of my student organizations gotten really far to do opportunities. For example, last year, one of my student organizations that I advise, Latin Student Union, had the wonderful opportunity of going to Telemundo and presenting there and doing questions, and that wouldn't have happened if these students didn't reach out to me. I think one of the students just came up to me like outside and was like, "I want to join," and those. And
you're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, usually we had like an interview impromptu, and I had to call the other students to be like, "Hey, I have this person."
Yeah.
And I was my experience was just having those conversations, even if it's like 30 minutes. And I know here, especially for me, I'm very open to those conversations if any students want to drop in. And there are other student leaders who can also help you, because it's not always, like I said, not always above. It's also like horizontally who are student leaders already in these spaces that could connect you to these opportunities. We have a leadership council where a lot of these students can help you find these opportunities. We have student workers and student interns in the Honors College who knows more about this stuff, and they're all in different areas. Like, for example, you're in PAD. So like those are examples of spaces where you just honestly just have a conversation. We do table a lot for the Honors College, so if you see us in GC or the Breezeway, just stop and ask. We usually try to offer a variety of events, from fun to more connecting with educational aspects. Just reaching out and having that conversation is the first step that could get you so much further than you think. I always say in person because I'm a fan of in person, but you could also email.
Yeah.
But in person usually gets you a lot further if you can.
No, I agree. And I feel like we've talked about it a lot. And people, I feel like, are just scared sometimes to, like, just go out there and talk to people. Like, they're just scared of, like, what the other person will say. Like, oh, what if they hear no? And I'm like, guys, it's okay if you, like, don't hear no. I mean, in this area, or, like, what we're talking about right now, everyone's is willing to help you, especially here at the Honors College. But, like, just in life, like, just go out there, talk to people. Like, you never know where it will lead.
I would say, like, the worst thing someone could tell you is, like, no, or not tell you anything.
And I'm like, it's not, like, okay, you move on with your life, like, whatever, like, you know, you go about your day.
And then sometimes, like, personally for me, when I was in my graduate program, when I first started in higher ed, I applied for something and it didn't work out. I was, like, the last person. It's a very interesting situation that I don't kind of want to go into.
Yeah.
Detail. But because I connected with them and I actually, like, reached out and was like, how can I do better? They were actually able to provide me another job that they felt like fulfilled what I was able to present in an interview and also present in my resume, that they said that they felt was better fitted, and at the end became better fitted for me and my experience. But that would have never happened if I didn't, like, reach out and connect to the people and had those connections, because my first interview, like, it just didn't go my way.
Yeah.
Because of multiple things.
Mm-hmm.
But it led me to those opportunities that I wouldn't have had if I didn't ask, which was just being like, how can I be better? How can I have this opportunity? And they were like, actually, we have this amazing job for you. And then it worked, and then I'm able to be here now.
No, I feel like everything happens for a reason. And also, like, again, this just adds to, like, reach out, talk to people. You never know where it's going to lead. And just reach out. Like, the worst that can happen is that they say no, that they're, like, rude or whatever. But here at the Honors College, we got your back. So don't worry about that. Now, what makes the FIU Honors College community stand out compared to other programs, in your opinion? In
my opinion, I feel like when FIU gives you a lot of connections to things that are happening locally in the community, and then FIU Honors alumni are very involved, and they want to get involved. They want to help students. They want to be accessible, and those things are some opportunities. For example, like you all had Pedro recently, who is a wonderful connector, and we have multiple alumni who are in these high spaces that can help connect those experiences a lot further. And also, FIU Honors always has, like, these, what I like to call, like, special edition opportunities that other programs don't have, that we can offer to our students that we know are getting involved, who are standout students. For example, like when Meta came, we were able to invite students, but those opportunities only came up for honors college students, and these are special opportunities. And then FIU in DC is one of the few schools, I think it's one of the only ones, that has an actual campus at DC. And the honors college does offer Hamilton Scholars, which is essentially allowing students to have a semester at DC, have an internship either at a reputable politician or governmental office or even nonprofit that fulfills and aligns with your degree, not just political science, but like economics, all other types of ways that we offer for honors college students specifically. And that is something only FIU offers. That is something that we only do. And then we have a lot of other programs and opportunities that only FIU offers to honors college students that other schools do not offer. That I think is what really makes it stand out. And also I feel like FIU has a lot of campuses, so there's a lot of opportunities for a lot of things and a lot of people who are willing to want to get involved, especially if you're in the Miami area, which is like a developing metropolitan. So it really makes you stand out.
No, I completely agree, and like all the opportunities the honors college like gives, and like that's what makes it so different. Like I know a couple of friends who are actually in the honors, like the Hamilton Scholars program, or like did it, and they were thriving. Like they were doing so good, like in their program. Like I would see them like post like pictures like on LinkedIn, and I was like, wow, that all looks so cool. And they wouldn't have gotten it if it weren't for the honors college. Like they were just doing so well. And if anyone is interested, like I would say, like, you know, try to find out about that, do your own research, maybe apply, you know. But now we're gonna move on to like trends. So what trends are you seeing in how students connect, and how is the honors adapting to those needs?
So a lot of ways students connect is to already our student organization. So the way honors college is evolving is that instead of having students come to us, we're going to where they're at. If our partners, for example, we have students who are in fraternity sorority life, who are first gen, who are in pre-law and pre-med, instead of having us kind of be like go to them, we're working with the organizations to create those events that really curates these students and give them those opportunity and experience. And also students want to do unique things that really kind of stand out and really is making their experience different compared to the traditional experience. And obviously always food. Always having food, always offering things that usually you might have to pay for. Students are having the experience of having it free and giveaways. We've been able to have wonderful opportunities like connecting with the esports department and having the esports lounge, which usually some students may have to pay and may not be usually accessible or really have an experience there. They were able to get that experience because we were able to help provide that opportunity for them. And that's just one example of the many more that we've been developing to create those opportunities. For example, we have the opportunity for students to go to a lab tour in the Temple College, where if you're ever interested in any type of research like cancer or such of that, those are opportunities that we only specifically offer to honors college that we've been working to develop further, especially with trends, making sure students are going to places and having them in person. And then this is something I've always heard, students want it after hours, so we've been adapting to make sure it's after hours for students, so it's not conflicting with your schedule or work schedule is what we've heard.
I love that. No, because I have like work and classes, so that after hours like events, like those are always like the best because I can always make those. But I think that the biggest thing that we've taken from this like episode, I would say, is that the honors college is becoming more accessible to like everyone and is like coming to you guys with all these opportunities. So now you can't say that, you know, it's too hard to get an opportunity or your engagement done because it's being handed to you. Like Valeria's working hard here, making sure that you guys have all the opportunities and everything you guys need to be prepared, not only within the honors college, but like after you graduate. So she's got your back, and if you ever have any questions about engagement or, you know, any opportunities, whatever, she's the one to reach out to. She's got your back. But anyways, Valeria, thank you so much for joining me today in this episode, and just thank you for the incredible work that you do here at the Honors College. Like, we all appreciate you, and we love you, and we're just like so happy to have you. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. Loved having you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And to all of our listeners, of course, whether you are a prospective student or a proud alum or part of the Honors College fam, remember that the Honors College is more than a program. It's a community, and that community thrives because of people like Valeria who make engagement meaningful and accessible. And remember, guys, I can't leave you without plugging in all of our socials. Remember to follow us at our Spotify and YouTube. You can find the podcast there, Panthers Unleashed. You will have our episodes come out every Monday, so you should see it there. Follow us, subscribe, give us everything, the 5 stars, good comments. We love that. And make sure to follow us at FIU Honors on Instagram, where you will see all of our new engagement opportunities, internship opportunities, events. All of it will be posted on our Honors Instagram. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. And as always, pause up.